I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Show me the money! Show me the money!
UFC Fight Night, Gabriel Bonfim taking on Randy Brown in the Apex in Las Vegas. So take into consideration the cage is going to be a smaller cage again for the second time for the second time in a row. Last weekend was at the Apex as well. But nevertheless, let's get into it. We have 12 fights on the card here, ladies and gentlemen. There's been some fights pulled through. As you can see here, just recently, Adrian Yanez, and Christian Quinones it's not happening anymore. Valentin got a broken back, apparently, against Jackson McVeigh. His back is broken. But nevertheless, let's get into it. First fight on the night, we have Jackson McVeigh taking on Dontae Johnson. Dontae Johnson literally just fought, I'm pretty sure, last week, you know what I mean? 3 days ago and 5 hours against Cedric Dumas. He showcased his submission game. Now, on the other hand, we have a Jackson McVeigh, and I'm going to be quite blunt here. This guy, I don't see him being UFC material. Okay, this guy is frail, and he actually is pretty fucking mid, to be honest. Against a Bruno Ferreira, as soon as he took one leg kick, literally, the guy folded. And yes, Bruno Ferreira, he's got some powerful strikes, man. But, I don't know. As soon as you get touched, I just feel like this guy just isn't as UFC material as people make out he is. So, I think that at Dontae Johnson, it's kind of tricky because, going and doing a weight cut again kind of sucks. But I think Dontae Johnson is going to get a first round TKO in this fight, man, and go up to 8-0 in his career. Jackson McVeigh, man, he's frail and he's not UFC level, man. He's probably gonna get smoked here, man. You know what I mean? Or probably get just ground and pounded, But I've got a Dontae Johnson by first round TKO. Moving up to the next fight, we have Miles Johns taking on Daniel Marcos. All right. Daniel Marcos, he just took his first L against a Montel Jackson in a decision, right? So it was pretty boring. It looked like Daniel Marcos didn't show up that night, He's 17-1. He can be taken down. He's sloppy, okay? He's sloppy with his boxing at times. He throws looping shots. He's good. He's got good calf kicks. Just looking at my notes, right? So he waits way too much at times. May get knocked down. He might get knocked down. Against Adrian Yanez, he got clipped. You know what I mean? It was a pretty back and forth fight with Adrian Yanez. I just remember when I first watched the Adrian Yanez and Daniel Marcos fight, I thought that Adrian Yanez kind of edged it, but I don't know. I just remember that kind of vibe. But he may be harder to take down Johns. Yeah, Johns is very kind of a little bit shorter. So they're both the same height, but it seems like Miles Johns is a little more thick, a little more stocky. It just seems like that. He has no volume. Daniel Marcos has no much. He's just not a volume. He's not a pepper kind of guy. I feel like Miles Johns, out of these two, Miles Johns is more of the pepper kind of guy, with his shots, But Daniel Marcos can pick his shots very well, And yeah, he eye pokes. But on the other hand, we have Miles Johns. So he's 14-1. He's 15-4. He's taken 2 L's in the last 2 fights. And Felipe Lima, he's not that bad. He's pretty good. He's not bad of a prospect. And Gene Matsumoto, he's not bad of a prospect either. So, those 2 losses, you can't really take much out against the Miles Johns for that. He's 31 years old. They both got similar reach, similar height, and, but he is a boxer and wrestler. So I'd like to note that, right? So Daniel Marcos, if he wants to I don't think he's going to take down a Miles Johns. Miles Johns has a high guard, so he's got good boxing, keeps his hands up, likes to counter with the right hand. He's short and compact, as I said. He's got good takedowns, right? He's got good takedowns. He's obviously that wrestler in him. He has only 1 or 2, combos. So he just kind of goes 1-2, he does straights. He does a lot of straights. He's got power in the hands, right? At times, can become stuck in the mud though, like over time. So he can like kind of gas a little bit, but I feel like he's still got all right cardio. But he has no power management, man. Like he goes out in the first round, he starts like just putting too much more power than what he should do over the later rounds, and kind of like pace himself kind of thing. He has straight shot heavy, as I said, and doesn't know what to do in the pocket kind of thing. So he kind of he kind of just throws straights and like doesn't really know what. I think I only ever seen him throw like one uppercut. You know what I mean? Like you're in the pocket, man. Like throw some uppercuts. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I feel like a Daniel Marcos is going to edge a decision here, man. I think Miles Johns, he's a good dog. Like if you actually want to pick a dog, I think Miles Johns is kind of good, man. He could edge out a decision. He could, but I feel like a Daniel Marcos is kind of probably going to be a little bit better. And I think that in the first round's competitive. I think Miles Johns might end up taking the first round, and I think he will. I think Miles Johns will take the first round, and I think Daniel Marcos is going to take the second and third and just out-edge Miles Johns. So give me Daniel Marcos by 29-28 decision. Moving to the next fight, we have a UFC veteran in Tisha Pennington, or Tisha Torres, as we know her as, before she married Raquel Pennington, or, had kids and stuff. On the other hand, we have Denise Gomez, and she trains with Jessica Entourage. So on this hand, right, Denise Gomez, she's very like kind of one shot heavy. Tries to fight the power shots. She's got good boxing, right? She's got power in the hands, obviously, and she likes to counter. So she likes to counter strike. She actually minced Elise Reed, man. She minced her, but Elise Reed has kind of got that traditional kind of kickboxing, kind of taekwondo style, and keeps her hands down, and her head's just there for the taking. You know what I mean? But so that was that's a far different fight to Tisha Pennington. Tisha Pennington likes to keep her hands up. She's a kickboxer, high guard. She's crafty with her hands. She's very high output. You know what I mean? Tisha Pennington, very high output. Was dropped in her last fight against Luana Pinheiro, though, so that's noted, but she has a good chin. So that she showed that she had kind of a good chin, tends to lean forward with her chin a little, like kind of like that shell kind of leaning forward. But I think that's kind of just to bait her opponents, and then she kind of can move forward, move backwards. So it's kind of like distance managing. So obviously when you lean forward, you can lean forward a little bit to kind of trick your opponent, you know what I mean? And then you're on your back foot, you're already here. So you're basically here already. But if you lean forward a little bit, it makes your opponent look like you're closer, closer to them. But all you need to do is just do that, and you're already away. Doesn't set up her low kicks at times, and she's a stiff striker. But at the end of the day, like we've got a Denise Gomez, and if you're going to pick a Denise Gomez, you're basically picking her to get that one shot. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what she tries to find in every fight, like in her fights. She's got power in her hands, but I truly believe against a Tisha Pennington, I think a Tisha Pennington is too crafty. She's too smart. She's got too much of a better IQ, fight IQ here. And I'm surprised that she's the underdog here. So I'll take the underdog in Tisha Pennington, and I think she's going to get a 30-27 decision against Denise Gomez. I think Denise Gomez is going to get frustrated. I think Tisha Pennington's going to, just put her on her, man. I think that Tisha Pennington's going to take all 3 rounds, just with volume, high volume. And I think she can utilize some grappling here, like takedowns or wrestling, She's strong. Tisha Pennington's strong. She kind of reminds me of a girl I went to high school with. But anyway, moving on. Tisha Pennington by 30-27 decision over Denise Gomez. Moving on to the next fight. We have a Josh Hockett taking on a Max Gimnis. This is hilarious because both these two dudes, it's like as if like straight out of The Simpsons, man. This guy's from fucking Springfield and this guy's from Shelbyville. Swear to God, like this is dead set. This is a very rare but very funny, clear parallel universe fight here, man. One guy's wrestler, fights out of Springfield. One guy's a jiu-jitsu specialist, fights out of Shelbyville. Like it's hilarious, you know what I mean? It's dead set parallel universes here, man, going at it. Anyway, we have a Josh Hockett. He's 6-0. And Max Gimnis has got only one loss. He's 6-1. You can't make this up, eh? This is hilarious. But we got Josh Hockett, He made his debut on the oh no, he hasn't made his debut yet, but he had a fight on the Dana White's Contender Series. And I'm gonna be straight with you. You know, this guy, it's like he's got way too much hype for how good he actually is. Like this guy, I don't know what it is, man. Like he'll throw a jab to try and close the distance, and that's about it. And then he'll try and like just try and get the position and wrestle. And it's kind of like he's got very good. He's very wrestle heavy, right? Obviously, he's got the wrestling background, All-American wrestler. Being the lighter man in his last few fights, baits his opponent and then takes down. So he baits him with the jab, and then obviously he shoots for the takedown. That's how he gets his takedowns most of the time. His finishing ability sucks ass. Okay, I'm just going to say it straight out. His finishing ability sucks. Like, it was in the second round, I believe, with elbows. The elbows look crisp. I'm not going to lie, they did look crisp, but the guy was literally like a bum. The guy was fighting a bum. And on the other hand, so he's 27. He's 229 pounds. Not too sure his height. This is the other guy's height and reach. The other bloke, Max Gimmis. But Max Gimmis, he's 6'1". He's a jiu-jitsu specialist, right? He's 32 years old, so he's going to be the 5-year age older man here. He's 259 pounds. So this guy's got 10 kilos on Max on a Josh Hockett, right? And you got to think that wrestling a heavier guy, even wrestling a taller guy, it's a lot harder. You know what I mean? Like to try and take down a tree it is a lot harder. Okay, but a Max Gimmis, he's no slouch on the ground either. You know, and he's got the submission game. You know, and I just can't believe how wide the odds are here again. I feel like this card is going to have it most likely will be a very underdog heavy win card. So there might be a few fights on this card that's good dogs to pick. But at the end of the day, I've got Max Gimmis. I think it's just a hot take, man, because Josh Hockett, I think he's got one round, and I think in the second round, a Max Gimmis, I think this whole grappling thing's probably going to go to the second round, and I got a Max Gimmis just getting a sloppy fucking submission over Josh Hockett. I think Josh Hockett's gases trying to just wrestle Max Gimmis. You know what I mean? Like just try and he's just going to, and he's probably going to get overwhelmed. You know what I mean? So I got a Max Gimmis by second round submission. Moving on to the next fight, we have Amaro Bueno Silva taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I love Jacqueline Cavalcanti, man. She's very much she's very long and good striking, man. So she's 9-1. She's a beast. I think she's so she's 9-1. This is in the bantamweight division. We've got Mayra Bueno Silva. She's coming up again. So she went down, I believe, to Jasmine Jasavicius, down in weight, and now she's come back up. So she's come back up into bantamweight division. Mayra Bueno Silva, she's on a 3-fight losing streak. She had a no contest win. She actually got the submission, but she got popped for drug use. Enhancement drugs. I think that was just for an ADD or something. I'm not too sure. But, she is getting the shit under the stick on these fights now, man. I think that, the UFC doesn't like that, man. They don't like that. And, I think Mayra Bueno Silva, after this fight, she's going to get cut. She's going to get cut. That's it. See you later. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, she's 9-1. She's looking like an absolute beast. Like if the UFC really wanted Mayra Bueno Silva to stay in the UFC, they would give her a better matchup, man. They wouldn't give her Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Jacqueline Cavalcanti is a beast. She's long. She's rangy. She's with Syndicate MMA, for a few years now. She uses her feints very well, right? Level changes well with her strikes. I love how she strikes, man. She'll like kind of go to the body and then go to the head, go to the body, and then body again up the head. It's beautiful. Like she's got good range too. Draws her opponent in and counters a lot. Boxing combinations, very good boxing, man. She's got good boxing, and she's precision with the hands, right? So, Mayra Bueno Silva doing this, trying to close the distance and try and what are you doing? You know what I mean? You're gonna get clipped. And give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti by first round stoppage. I think Jacqueline Cavalcanti is going to get a nice TKO win over Mayra Bueno Silva. First round. It could be first or second. First or second round. But I'm leaning towards first, man. I think she's just going to go out and just just beat her up. Could even be second. I'll go first or second round. You know what I mean? I'll see how I feel, but maybe just watch a little bit more tape on But Mayra Bueno Silva's in trouble here. Let's put it that way. Jacqueline Cavalcante by KO or TKO. Moving up to the next fight, we have Jamal Emmers taking on Haider Ramil. All right, Jamal Emmers. He's 21-8. He's 21-8. He's long and rangy. Okay. Jamal Emmers, he's got good striking, man. He has good striking. But on the other hand, we have Haider Ramil that's got good striking, and like he's kind of like the older man version of a Tisha Pennington. Dead set, like the Hurricane. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of more like that. He brings chaos as well, But Jamal Emmers, he's very much a precision kind of guy. I know he's a BJJ black belt. He sits on his punt. He sits on his strikes. Kind of a flat-footed though. He's kind of flat-footed. Can be wild at times with his strikes on the inside. So he kind of can just swing like just out of nowhere, heavy. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, he's 36 years old. Haider Ramil's 35. Here we have Jamal Emmers. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage over Haider Ramil. That was my light, so oh well. I'm gonna have to just keep punching a 3-man. Anyway, so I reckon we got Haider Ramil, right? He's got heavy hand. So he's got heavy hands, good volume, puts on the pressure. We know recently. Well, I don't know if everyone knows, but he's been going through some stuff with his family life. I think he took his first loss against Jose Delgado. And that's not a bad loss, man. Like Jose Delgado is definitely a more of a different specimen than a Jamal Emmers. Jose Delgado, we just saw, against Wood, Nathaniel Wood, kind of almost put him away in the first round. You know what I mean? And I saw that coming, but I can't believe Nathaniel Wood was very much a very, very durable guy. But we've seen all this controversy with, fights getting like... I had Jose Delgado, man, and I think he won that fight. Again, I had Norma Dumont. I thought she won that fight. Oh, no, sorry. I had Caitlin Vieira. I thought she won that fight against Norma Dumont. What the hell is going on? You know what I mean? Like, these fights that you just clearly like, what... I'm going off on a tangent here, but dead set, man. Like some of these fights, you're just watching it. Your eyeballs are glued to the screen watching, and if 99% of the world is sitting there going, dude, that's weird and sus. That guy won. Why did he lose? Or that chick won. Why did she lose? Like, why did they just call her name? Did they get the names wrong? You know what I mean? Why did they get Norma Dumont? Did they just call out the wrong name? That's Caitlin Vieira. You know what I mean? The hell is going on? Anyway, and I fucking knew Yadir Del Valal. I knew it. Dude, the guy was way stronger than Isaac Delgarian. I guarantee whoever was on Isaac Delgarian's corner in the back before the fight was like, holy fuck. Did you just see? I just saw Yadir Del Valal. He's a beast. He's huge. He's just literally, he's bigger than what he was 24 hours ago, man. This guy strikes like an absolute specimen. And he's strong as frick on the ground, man. Did you see him grappling in there? That guy's. I'm calling some dudes, man. Like everyone put their money on this guy. You know what I mean? I guarantee that's what happened. It's not like Isaac Delgarian just like threw the fight. I don't think he threw the fight. I think they just knew that he was going to lose. So they got all of his boys. They got everyone. They just called them all up. Hey, man, Isaac's going to lose, bro. Like, just don't back our boy, man. Don't back Isaac. He's going to lose. He knows he's going to lose. The guy's a beast. Yadir Del Valal is a beast. Already said that. And we're going to know his next fight. I'm telling you right now. I'm just going on a tangent. Anyway, I got Haider Ramil to beat Jamal Emmers, okay? Sorry, to go on a tangent. Let's move on to the next fight. Haider Ramil, man, he's going to go out there, and I reckon he's going to be dialed, man. Because, things going on with his life and everything. He's going to be dialed. He's going to be dialed in, I reckon. It could go against him, but and again, look at Jamal Emmers' loss, win-loss, 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 win, and he's probably going to take a loss. You know what I mean? Might even be a KO. I can see a Hyder Mill getting a second or third round TKO over Jamal Evans. Moving on to the next fight. We have a Marco Tulio taking on a Christian Leroy Duncan. Leroy Duncan, very long man. He's a long, rangy striker. Again, I was saying this in my last card. So I have to kind of emphasize because sometimes you will forget when we are doing picks, right? It's a smaller cage, okay? So, again, Christian Leroy Duncan does not like to be taken down. And it's going to, generally when they're in a smaller cage, it can be more, look what happened last weekend. And I was literally emphasizing throughout my pick card, like throughout the full card picks, I was literally saying, this is a small cage. And look what happened. The amount of submissions that happened last weekend, I'm telling you right now. Anyway, but nevertheless, Marco Tulio, beast, okay? He's Norman Dumont's man, And, the dude's Alfraz, man. You can tell the way he fights. Dude, the guy's like a beast. But anyway, Christian Leroy Duncan, very long. He's got like a kickboxing kind of style. Like he's very kind of like karate-esque, type. Keeps his hands down. Likes to utilize his range and jab. Does it very well. He got a nice spinning back. It was like a spinning back elbow to ground and pound against Eric Anders. This was 2 months and 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it's not bad. He's 12-2. He's the underdog into this fight, man. But again, there's only like a 4.5-inch reach advantage in Christian Leroy Duncan. On the other hand, we have a Marco Tulio, and he's 14-1. And again, he's looking phenomenal. And I'll show you this. This is hilarious. His one loss. I'll show you this. This is funny as. Oh wait, okay, so it's Alexandre Silva. Wait, that's his loss, right? I'll show you this. His only rear naked choke submission win against Tulio Marcos. You can't make this up. Like, where are we living right now? You know what I mean? You just had Hockett and Gimnis. That's like the parallel universe fight of the year, of the decade. Then you've got Marcos Tulio submitting the only guy, his only submission is a Tulio Marcos. Like, can you believe this? This is hilarious. Anyway, I think that's fucking hilarious. Anyway, nevertheless, we have a Marco Tulio, and I believe he's going to beat a Christian Leroy Duncan. I don't believe a Christian Leroy Duncan. I think Christian Leroy Duncan is durable. He's durable, but he's going to be taking some heavy shots here. You know what I mean? And we could see a Marco Tulio getting a submission win over a Christian Leroy Duncan. So I got a Marco Tulio by submission. But nevertheless, like, hey, if you are back in this fight, if you're interested, whatever, Marco Tulio, very good. He's a good favorite pick to pick. I truly believe that. I think a Christian Leroy Duncan, I don't think he even has the volume to beat Marco Tulio. I think Marco Tulio, good chin, good volume, good power management too. Like, the guy comes out like a bat out of hell in the first round, but then like he just looks still good in the second. You know what I mean? Finisher, But nevertheless, I am going to predict that a Marco Tulio gets his second ever submission in his career against a Christian Leroy Duncan. That's what I'm going to predict. The guy's got massive legs too, man. He's strong. You know what I mean? And he's 6 foot to a Leroy Duncan 6'2". So yeah, I've got a Marco Tulio by submission. Moving to the next fight, we have a Ricky Simone taking on a Ronnie Barcelos. Ronnie Barcelos he's known for the guy to take out a Peyton Talbot but I truly believe that Peyton Talbot just didn't show up that night. I think that at the end of the day, when there are fights, I think a lot of them, it's literally one guy showing up and the other guy not showing up. You know what I mean? Like, mentally, physically, it could be anything. And again, I'm going to go back to the Isaac Delgarian thing. Oh, he was injured, dude. Most fighters, right? This is so hardcore that guaranteed, like 80% of the fighters on this card right now that are going into this weekend will have a little niggle or injury, okay? So you can't just say, oh, he's injured. Dude, most fighters going into their fights are injured. You know what I mean? So you can't really, sick of that shit. But nevertheless, a Peyton Talbot, he could have been injured, whatever. Most fighters are injured or they've got a little niggle or something going into the fight regardless, right? Regardless if they've had a good camp or not. But Peyton Talbot didn't show up that night. I don't believe so, Again, he fought a Cody Garbrandt, the corpse of Cody Garbrandt, and got the good win. He's 20-5. He's 38 years old, halfway to 39. He's got a 67-inch reach, but he's a 1-inch height advantage over Ricky Simone. Again, I'll bring this up one more time. I'll keep bringing this up. I truly believe sometimes I see this happening. When the guy is shorter and he's got a longer reach, generally he's got a better striking game, man. You know what I mean? So we got a Ricky Simone. He's 5'6", but he's got a 2-inch reach advantage. It's not much of a reach advantage, but it tells me that Ricky Simone is a little bit more crafty and more sharp on the feet, striking wise. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that a Ricky Simone is going to get a TKO win over Ronnie Barcelos. Ricky Simone is good. I picked him to beat a Javid Bashrat. I picked him to beat him. You know what I mean? You got the KO win. Obviously, 8 months ago, wasn't doing YouTube. I picked him. He was a 3-1 dog, man. Ricky Simone, man, I love that. It was beautiful. You know what I mean? That was the first time we saw him dye his hair blonde, I believe. But, he's having a resurgence. And, he's the one that gave Merab the hard fight. You know what I mean? So, I reckon Ricky Simone's got good, powerful hands, man. He's got good hands. I think he's got underrated hands, man. He's got some cement block powered hands. And I think Ronnie Barcelos is taking a KO loss. And he hasn't had one for a while. I think the last guy, it was Umar Nurmagomedov. So, give me Ricky Simone by TKO or KO. It might be a KO. Ricky Simone's going to finish him. But nevertheless, Ricky Simone's winning that one, man. He ain't losing. Moving on to the next fight, we have Ismail Bonfim, one of the brothers of the card, taking on a Chris Padilla. Ismail Bonfim, I think a Chris Padilla is taking an L. I'll just say that straight up. He's 16-6, but on the other hand, Chris Padilla, he's good. I just feel like he doesn't have that grunt about him enough. I think that if he gets staggered, he kind of breaks in front of your eyes. You know what I mean? But in Ismail Bonfim, if Ismail Bonfim goes out a little bit more patient, and I believe he will be in this fight, I believe that Ismail Bonfim's going to go out there dialed. I don't know why. I just see Ismail Bonfim not going out too hectic, right? Because that's what got him fricked up against a Nazim Sadikov. Nazim Sadikov's an absolute weapon. I had him. He was a 2-1 dog going into that fight, and I had him. That was 8 months ago. Good pick. Ismail Bonfim, I think he's going to go out there, and I think he's going to be a little bit more calculated against Chris Padilla, and I think he's going to pick apart a Chris Padilla. So give me Ismail Bonfim to beat a Chris Padilla. I've got that. Chris Padilla is very good on the ground, good submissions, but Ismail Bonfim, he's a Brazilian, and sometimes you've got to give the Brazilians their dues, man. They grow up with jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? They grow up with that. So take that out of the equation. That's not every case. That doesn't go with everything, right? You can't put that into perspective all the time, but sometimes you can. Like a Chris Padilla, he might have some sort of wrestling game as well, but he has good jiu-jitsu. Although an Ismail Bonfim, I just truly believe is just going to be the better man here on this fight, because this one's pretty hard to pick. I just truly believe that Ismail Bonfim's going out there. He's going to look patient. He's going to look good. And I think he's going to get it on the cards. A 29-28 decision. Ismail Bonfim over Chris Padilla. Moving to the next fight, we have a Muslim Salikov taking on a Urosh Medic. This one's weird. And Muslim Salikov, right? He does not so he likes the bigger cage. That's all I'm going to say. A Muslim Salikov likes the bigger cage. I think that a Urosh Medic is just a little bit more calculated than a Carlos Leal, because we found out Carlos Leal is a bum. A Kenan Song, he's not that great. And a Santiago Ponzinibbio, he's a bum. He was good. Santiago Ponzinibbio used to be really, really good. Now he's just dropped off. But on the other hand, we have a Uros Medic, and he got a KO win over a bum as well. You know what I mean? So you're basically just picking your poison here. But I truly believe that, I'm going to go with that because Wells won last week. And, I should have known, not for one, the guy's chin looked so swollen that, like, God knows what the guy's been using in the last 2 years, before his last fight. Full, like he's looking like a 21-year-old at 39 years old. Allegedly, I'm just saying allegedly. This guy looked like, it didn't even look like Wells, man. When he walked out, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? That's why I want to start live streaming because, god damn it. As soon as he walked out, I was like, nah, this sucks. You know what I mean? Anyway. Again, USADA, whatever. But Muslim Salikov, he only just fought recently. Again, I've been saying this. The older fighters taking fights with 3 months gap, not good. Okay? Not good. Very not good. Okay? What are you doing? Like, how strapped are you for cash? You know what I mean? Like, take some time off, man. You're 41, 42 years old. He's 41. I don't like that. Give me a Uros Medic. Give me a Uros Medic, and I think they're going out with guns blazing in this fight. I think Uros Medic, first or second round KO over Muslim Salikov. Because Uros Medic, he's sharp on the feet, man. He is. He's sharp. He's got good strikes. It's not going to the ground. There could be some clinch, but I got Uros Medic, first or second round KO. Moving up to the next fight, we have a Matt Schnell taking on a Joseph Morales. Joseph Morales, he's the guy that gave Emmanuel Rodriguez, I'm fairly certain, Joseph Morales. Anyway, I've got Joseph Morales winning. He left the UFC, now they brought him back. And, Matt Schnell, I don't really rate, man. I think he used to be really, really good. Like, he was kind of more of like a phenom on the ground, I believe, like more of a submission guy. He's okay. He's kind of giddy. He's okay with his strikes. But at the end of the day, Joseph Morales is good all around, man. And I see something in this guy, again, coming back. He's 13-2. He's 31 years old. He's trains out of Team Alpha Male, so he has that like little bit of wrestling knowledge. Like they have good wrestling knowledge, that team. I've realized. And, a Matt Schnell will probably not be able to submit a Joseph Morales. I don't think he will be. And I think a Joseph Morales is going to be better on the feet, crispier. And I truly believe he's going to get a good win over Matt Schnell, man. He's going to beat him up. He's going to beat a Matt Schnell up, man. I don't even think it's going to go to the ground. I don't even think Joseph Morales will even want it to go to the ground because Matt Schnell, he's more dangerous on the ground. Why would you take a guy that's more dangerous, you know what I mean? Not unless there's some sort of thing going on behind the scenes. Why would you take a guy that's way more dangerous on the ground that has more of a percentage to win in the fight to the ground? You keep it on the feet. Joseph Morales keeps it on the feet. I think he's going to get a very good win over Matt Schnell. Moving up to the main event, we have a Gabriel Bonfim taking on a Randy Brown. Randy Brown, he's been submitted by Jack Della. Okay, just saying. He lost to a split decision win recently, 10 months ago. He lost a split decision against Brian Battle, who literally just can't even like dial in for camp. You know what I mean? And then he's going on the mic recently and like doing this gladiator fucking speech. But the guy literally looked like, what are you doing? Like, I know, I get it. You were like obese back in the day and now you've trimmed up and you're a fighter and whatever. You built yourself up. But like, don't give me a gladiator fucking speech when you've just got cut from the UFC because you couldn't cut weight properly or you had, you just couldn't dial in. Don't give me that shit. It's fucking annoying. You know what I mean? Give me that shit. Fucking gladiator speech, all this fucking shit. You know what I mean? Get out of my face. You couldn't even dial in, dude. Too early for that. Too early. You do it in 2 years when you've trimmed up and you look like an absolute specimen, Brian Battle. What is that? And then people are like, oh, give me goosebumps. I don't know, man. If it came from like Ilya Deporia, yeah, dude, that'd fucking fire me up. Come from Brian Battle? What the fuck is that? Anyway, Gabriel Bonfim. Randy Brown, good on the feet, man. He's good. He's good striking. Chris, man, he's got good boxing, man. I love watching Randy Brown. He kind of reminds me of like a Jalen Turner type esque. You know what I mean? Kind of similar. Randy Brown, like, yeah, he keeps his hands down. You know, like he's got good boxing. You know what I mean? He's kind of like a really, really tall, big version of Bobby Green. Kind of. You know what I mean? Like similar. Like if Bobby Green and or King Green, sorry, excuse me, and Jalen Turner had like some sort of biological baby, which is kind of weird to think. That would be Randy Brown. But nevertheless, I don't think he's that good at all on the ground. And that's Gabriel Bonfim's world, man. I truly believe that's where it's going. It's the smaller cage. Again, that's what I'm saying. Gabriel Bonfim, JDM choked him, clubbed and subbed him. JDM clubbed and subbed him, man. So, yeah. Gabriel Bonfim, he's going to look good. And, so he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson 3 months and 3 weeks ago. Kind of weird. Kind of seemed like it was 1 year ago. That's kind of strange. Gabriel Bonfim, man, people were questioning whether he won that fight. Now, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But at the end of the day, he didn't get finished by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's an absolute specimen on the feet. And he's got a similar body type to Randy Brown. You know what I mean? And Gabriel Bonfim kind of hanged with him. He did. He hanged with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So I truly believe in this fight because it's a smaller cage. It's the Apex. Gabriel Bonfim is going to get a first or second round submission over Randy Brown. He's 18-1. He's 28 years old. Give me Gabriel Bonfim, first or second round submission, man. Anyway, thanks heaps. Thanks heaps for listening, man. And I've got more coming out. I've got a good video coming soon. When I start holidays, it's going to be good, man. It's like a little mini documentary thing that's going to be like, about the UFC and stuff. So it's going to be sick. And I don't see anyone hitting it in that angle the way I'm going to approach it. It's going to be sick. It's going to be cool, man. Anyway, yeah, I've got heaps of things coming. But yeah, thanks heaps for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. If you even at this point and listening to me, that'd be funny as. But that's cool. Like that's sick. That's what I'm here for. If anyone wants to just listen to someone, man, I'm here, man. Anyway, cheers and give it a like and put a comment in. I don't care what you say, man. Give me hate. Give me love. Give me hate. I don't care, man. I'll reply somehow. Witty. Anyway. All right. Love yous all. Peace.